Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're playing some Raid Shadow Legends and I am excited today because it is a ×2 shard pull day, which means we're going to be doing my ancient shards. If you are a new player looking to start Raid Shadow Legends, then be sure that you're using my link. You can either scan the QR code on the screen, click the link down in the description box. By using this exclusive link, you're going to start your account off with Elenaril on day 1, so right away you're going to get a legendary champion. At level 10, I'll send you Uugo, that epic champion. Level 20, you'll get Rector Drath, and at level 30, you'll get Mausoleum Mage. These 4 amazing champions are going to help you out with your raid journey. Now that you've downloaded using my link, you want to make sure that you are entering a new player code. You do have to enter this within 72 hours of actually downloading the game. The code that I suggest using is Monkey King. This is going to get you Sun Wukong, who is a legendary champion who is very good, but only here for a limited time. So you're going to want to make sure that you claim that. So as I mentioned, it is that ×2, which is the best and only time that you should be pulling shards. Realistically, I feel like I don't necessarily need to pull shards right now. I do have a lot that I'm working on the account I'm building. However, it's an event to pull shards and I've been saving. So of course I'm going to need to do that. So they also have the targeted champion boost. And with that, I have yet to get lucky on one of these and actually pull the targeted champion. Not going to hold my breath on that. We will see what we can get. And as always, I'm going into this with no expectations because that is the best way to go into something like this. I find in the past that if I'm trying to expect something, I just feel like I get sad after. So I mean, we'll see what we can grab. I am going to look at everything afterwards and see what was good, what wasn't good, things like that, if I'm going to build it. I do already have Seeker, but I will say no Seeker off the bat is a great pull. So one that I don't mind getting another one. I'm not going to be building it. However, it is useful for other parts of the game to get duplicates. And another one that I think I did not have. I'm pretty sure this unit here is new. As I mentioned, I have been working on my account. I have a lot going on in my account. So that is why I'm like, oh, I don't really need to pull shards and we got a legendary. Yes, let's go. I always go into it expecting nothing, but we actually got a legendary. Ooh, we need to take a look, see if it's good. And I say I shouldn't be building things, but I can't help it if it's going to be somebody that's really good. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at these skills. So he is a legendary defense type, and first skill, attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 40% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Okay, I already have ideas of where I'm going to use this, but I do want to look at the other ones, and then we'll go over all of that. Removes any stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, and petrification debuff from all allies. We have a cleanse, we love that, and places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, which is also great. And places 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champ for 2 turns. That is a really good skill, and if we could get that 3-turn cooldown, hold up. So it cleanses, we're going to get that increased defense and ally protection. That's really good. Okay, and skill 3, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a freeze debuff for a turn. Having it be an AoE, placing a freeze is great. Also has a 75% chance of decreasing the turn meter of all enemies by 30%. Ooh, that is an excellent skill 3. And if we ascend here, passive and the active. So passive, whenever an enemy tries to place a freeze debuff on this champion, instantly transfer it from this champion to that enemy. You already know what you're thinking as soon as you see that something that can freeze. Any of those is going to be good. Whenever this champion is killed, revives them with 30% HP and 30% turn meter and places revive on death buff on them for a turn. This is a very useful champion. Okay, so I don't have anyone that really does a lot of this, and I hate to say it, but I think this is what I'm going to need to build. So part of what I'm excited at is that first skill having multi-hit is really good for something like Fire Knight. I'm going to need that, but also spiders. We like that in spiders because we have the AoE in here as well. We're going to have this, which you're going to have some of that cleansing going on in there, and then increasing your defense, ally protection. So there's definitely a few different places I can see myself using this champion. Like I said, I'm thinking something like spider, something like Fire Knight. I can use them in Clan Boss. I don't have my Clan Boss team built yet. There's definitely a few different places in Doom Tower. Oh, I'm so excited. This is one that I don't have anything remotely close to what this does. This is awesome. We do need to keep going. Although, again, I'm not expecting anything else, but I'm already happy. I do have some single pulls as well. Let's do 6 of my single pulls, and then we'll maybe go back into multi. This is something I had actually asked you guys in my first poll videos, if you preferred single pulls or multi pulls, kind of what you liked, what you preferred. And I feel like I at the time I was like, oh, I really like single pulls because I like actually watching everything happen. But then I feel like the multi-pulls have been a little bit more lucky for me. So kind of leaning towards that now. However, it doesn't hurt to do a little bit of both in there. Now, as I had mentioned, my account, if you've been following along my journey, this is one that I had started towards the end of last year. It's a new account. I have been very lucky in terms of my shard pulls, my account. So if you are wanting to keep up with my account, I do videos where I talk about my progress on the account and things that I'm working on. So be sure that you do subscribe so you do not miss out on those types of videos if that is something that interests you. As I said, any of the champions I pull, I do like to make videos on and kind of see where I can use them, what I can do with them. So there is also a tournament. I forgot to mention that. There is the champion chase tournament. I think that's the one going on right now. So we'll see where we place with that as well. Like I said, the 66 shards I have is so far have been good to me. I went into it not really expecting anything. And I think it's worth mentioning, I don't know if that was my pity because I don't keep track, and I don't know if that drives people crazy or not, but my last 10, I am going to single pull these, you guys. Yeah, I don't keep track of my pity, and I know the reason some people would want to keep track. For myself, I'm like, no, I just get excited if I actually pull a legendary. If it was my pity, that's cool. If it wasn't, no problem. Like, it's fine. Regardless, I'm just happy that I did come out of this with something. And I know that there's also some new epics that I got, so I may build those along the way as well. Something I have noticed with Raid is that there are so many champions that it's kind of exciting because they all have different roles they can fill. You can make a dungeon team out of a variety of different champions. There is no like one go-to specific team. And that is something I like because I have played other games in the past and it's kind of like there is the meta team. But it's also not nearly as many champions, so it's easier to build. But it's like, this is the team you use. That is the one you're going to run. Versus in something like Raid, you get to have a lot of fun with it because you're kind of figuring out what champions you want to use, how you want to use them in dungeons, and you kind of get to go from there. So that is something I'm definitely excited for. I do have my last 3 shard pulls here. We will see my last 2. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't coming into this expecting anything. I am excited. I grabbed a legendary and one that will be useful for me. And I did also get some epics. I will look over those epics as well by the end of this. My last shard pull was nothing, which is fine because we're still walking away happy with what we got. And see, I told you guys, I never ever hit this targeted champion. I am curious though for you guys. You've been pulling shards and it has an event going on. How many times have you actually hit your targeted champion? Do you recall how many shards it actually took you to do that? Please comment down below and let me know. I am so curious how often people actually hit the targeted one. Give you guys a recap of what I actually got. So out of 66 ancient shards, I did get 8 epics, just to kind of click on them and show you guys who I got. If you guys have any recommendations for these, if you do think I should invest or build any of them, please do let me know. So this was, I think like these are the only ones that I got out of here. So 8 of these ones. I have already kind of looked through and taken a look at them. And of course, I think the best one I would have got out of here would be Seeker. Again, I have already built Seeker. I use Seeker. Seeker is amazing. It's one that I always suggest. It's usually in my lists for any of like top epics. Seeker will be up there. Very, very useful. But these are some of the other champions. And although I do think they look very cool, and I think that is something that Raid does very well, is the art of their champions, I don't see myself actually building any of these. But again, that is just from me taking a quick look at their skills and seeing like, oh, do I have any other champions that can do this or do this better? But it also does come down to resources, and because I have been building so many different champions, mostly the legendaries that I've been getting, that I've been building, I'm gonna get to a point I think where I'm gonna like kind of run lower on resources. So I am starting now to kind of really like hone in, look at my champions and see who I actually need to build for what will help me for account progression. And then eventually I can come back and look at some of the other ones and be like, oh, this might be fun to build, or this might be fun to do like a play test on or something like that. But of course, I'm gonna build a legendary. Of course I am. And I'm going to use him. I will create some videos with this unit. Again, it is nothing like I currently have. And taking a look at the quick reviews, kind of as I was thinking, off the top of my head, I was thinking like Fire Knight. So that is definitely up here. And then he's good in Faction Wars. Not used as much I see in Spider's Den, which is kind of where I was thinking. But I do kind of have units that could do spiders better than him. So Fire Knight will be a good one. And always Faction Wars. That is something else that I think is definitely worth mentioning, is any of these champions you get are always going to be good in something like Faction Wars. and not something to overlook, because that is something that even if you don't build the champions and use them as is, you can typically get pretty high up in there just using whatever you have, at least enough to use your keys and get whatever from it. That is it for my shard pulls, and I would love to hear how your guys's went. If you ended up pulling on this ×2, how did it go? What did you get from your ancient shards? Comment that down below. And as a reminder to actually download Raid Shadow Legends by using my link, so you do get yourself that amazing start and that progress through your account. These champions will definitely help you guys out. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the future videos, including when I actually build this legendary that we got today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Next level.